Hi there, everyone. This is Jess with the Terradise Nature Center in Caledonia, Ohio. This is our first information session for the Arts at Terradise Environmental Arts Residency in 2025. We traditionally do two of these. No one is actually live on this call today. Had a little bit of a soft launch due to some changes in the residency this year, but we will be recording this call. And if you are seeing this, it is likely on our Terradise YouTube or on the webpage for the Environmental Arts Residency itself. So I hope it will be helpful to you in navigating your application. The recording itself may be a little bit shorter than the anticipated session, which was scheduled for about an hour and a half. But I think we'll only go for about a half an hour or so since we won't have questions live, but feel free to reach out. So what we're going to do is just talk briefly and give an overview of Terradise Nature Center itself, our arts and culture programs, what we are and why we have an artist residency, and then we'll talk a little bit about what the residency has been and then changes for this year. We'll also see video on our Terradise Environmental Arts Residency website from the sessions in 2024. Those are the ones that have been posted so far. There are some important changes this year, so just make sure to pay attention when we're trying to highlight those. It doesn't really impact how you apply, but it just impacts our numbers and how we want our applicants to think of this residency, since this is likely our last year for the opportunity. But what is Terradise Nature Center? Terradise Nature Center is a 5 to 6 acre nature preserve along the Whetstone or Olentangy River in Caledonia in eastern Marion County. We are, if you are local, actually different from the Terradise Nature Preserve, which is governed by the Marion County Parks District, sort of. Historically, it was all one parcel called Terradise that was stewarded by naturalists Trella and Ray Romine, who were really pioneering conservationists. Trella was very involved in identifying and researching the historic Sandusky Plains prairie formation. They were also historians, naturalists, and most importantly, artists, and they built the Romine residence at Terradise Nature Center in 1953. Upon Trella's passing in 2013, her land, the remaining land in her estate, passed to her son, David Haldeman, who turned it into a 501c3 nonprofit. However, the other land kind of surrounding the immediate homestead and the other side of the river, Trella had already donated to the Marion County Parks District. So it all was one homestead, but again, is now two entities that both share a mission in environmental education and outreach programming. On our side of the river at the house at the Terradise Nature Center, we also run our house as an Airbnb, which provides accessible, rentable nature stays for families, community groups, board retreats, etc. And we also offer extensive arts and culture and public history programming in keeping with Trella and Ray's interests and passions throughout their life, in addition to environmental education and monitoring programming, and our nature center itself, which is open dawn to dusk 365 days a year. So we hope you'll get out and visit us. We're at 1536 Whetstone River Road North, outside of Caledonia. Where Terradise is located was historically a very important stretch of the Whetstone River. It's technically officially the Olentangy River, but due to some naming troubles, an incorrect indigenous word, not meaning Whetstone, was assigned to the river that had locally been known as the Whetstone River. So here in Caledonia and in Marion County, many locals do call it the Whetstone. And Terradise is actually a phrase invented by Ray Romine here in the picture, who was a poet. It means heaven on earth. And Terradise itself kickstarted many important local movements here in the Sandusky Plains region, including the Sandusky Plains Prairie Conservation Movement itself, which Trella spearheaded from the 70s to the 20s. Ray passed away very shortly after building Terradise with Trella, one of the great tragedies of their life. But he was very noted both for being a poet, postman poet of Marion, who wrote poetry all along his postal routes, light verse that was published in lots and lots of magazines, as well as a lepidopterist. So he collected and documented butterflies, moths, also birds. And a lot of his collections have actually made their way to the Ohio History Center down in Columbus. You can find out more about Trella and Ray and the history of Terradise for any interested applicants or community members at terradise.org/Caledonia-conservationists. That was a big exhibit that we put together in 2023 that helps tell the interconnected story of Trella and Ray, the conservation movement, and the land itself. And here's just a couple of photos of Ray and his collections, as well as Trella and their sons, Kathy and David, here in the photo. David went on to found Terradise Nature Center. Just lots of lovely photos from the collection here. And so Terradise Nature Center itself, depending on the season, our board, volunteers, and staff, we do more or less of different types of programming, but across everything, we really aim to do environmental education program, provide retreat visits, and obviously a recreational and beautiful and restorative natural space. And we also do some work celebrating the history and legacy of the Romine family, as well as our Arts at Terradise series, which is really our umbrella term for this Terradise Environmental Residency, which usually is held to June each year, as well as our Tunes at Terradise series, which is our summer concert series held in August. Our biggest project right now, however, is we are working on getting bids together and getting started on a interpretive center, which is a really awesome building that is going to help showcase our landscape and tell the larger story of the Olentangy River across the region. That's being supported very generously through a one-time strategic investment from our legislators in the State House, and we are going to be fundraising local match for that. So if you are of means or of small means and want to support that, we would love your support. Our Terradise Environmental Arts Residency is a paid artist residency. It is non-residential. You don't have to come to us and live here. In fact, we rent out our Airbnb throughout, so we don't have space for that. But it is for artists who are in the region, which we define as working in, from, or with ancestral connections to Marion, Morrow, Wyandotte, and Crawford County, the Sandusky Plains region. We are open to folks who are not living locally, especially our indigenous tribes with historic ties to this part of Ohio, who may want to come out and appreciate and get to be with lands that were originally yours. That is something we're very open to, and we're happy to discuss possible situations and if the Airbnb is available, what we could arrange. But primarily, the residency is non-residential and expects that artists will visit Terradise 3 times during their residency month at times they pick. And the idea for that is it's accessible. It's something, if you're a parent or someone responsible for elder care with pets, that you can work into your routine. And you need to do a few things. You need to pitch a residency project, so a new piece of artwork you were going to create during your residency month, inspired by the property, history, mission, or legacy of Terradise or the region. And then you're going to collaborate with other artists in your month on a 2-hour public program. You're going to each do a workshop, a performance, an activity, a talk, a reading. It's kind of low key. We advertise it for you. We'll have 3 artists per month, except for March this coming year in 2025. And you get a stipend of $1,000 plus a $100 material stipend that's reimbursable. This year is a little different. Ordinarily, we have about 12 slots. This year, we are going to have 4 or maybe 5 slots available. Shouldn't say 2024, it should say 2025. April, May, and June, we're going to have artists in those months. The rest of the slots are actually going to be offered to highly ranked past applicants from the 2022, 2023, and 2024 application cycles. We often had fractions of decimals that were the cutoff points between who got a residency and who didn't. And since this residency cannot continue, our major grant support has switched from being an annual model to an every other year model. So we really want to honor the labor of these past applicants. And we also want to extend an opportunity to some of our alumni artists who have been a part of the program in the past years. So those other slots will go to those additional artists. So we will have 9, 10, 11 slots total, but 4 to 5 of them will be for new to us artists, and the rest will be folks who have put in that work applying in past cycles and just didn't happen to get it. Our residency is open to artists in all genres. That includes music, creative writing, 2D, 3D, fine arts, foodways, traditional outdoorsmanship. We've seen it all, and we are especially seeking artists from historically marginalized backgrounds who haven't had a paid residency opportunity like this, including artists of color, queer and trans artists, artists with disabilities, artists who are veterans, etc. And our residency is, as far as we know, the only paid artist residency opportunity in North Central Ohio, and the only one explicitly by and for North Central Ohio artists. We're really proud of that. Many residencies are attracting intentionally artists from around the country to sort of infuse those sort of new ideas to a rural region. But those models can also be really extractive and don't provide opportunities for local artists. So we're really proud of the way our program has supported so far. I think the number is 36 different artists in the community. And just want to shout out the Ohio Arts Council and their ArtsNEXT grant. The fiscal year 2025 ArtsNEXT grant is making all of this possible. So as I alluded to, we've served 36 artists so far since the program launched, with a very special Ohio Arts Council experimental grant during COVID in the beginning of COVID in 2022. It is still COVID and lots of other things. And we have infused, that number is actually outdated. It's probably over almost $40,000. Wow, into the local arts economy. That's a 2024 number. I forgot to update that. Providing paid opportunities for innovation, research, creation, and presentation here in the region. And like I said, we are unique in our sector. There's very few artist residencies in the region, and there are very, very few nature centers that offer similar programming. We know a few in the Appalachian region, but those you have to pay to be a part of. You do get to stay there, which is nice, something we don't offer necessarily. But again, the thing that I think sets us apart the most is unlike other highly competitive national artist residencies, we are really geared towards working artists in, from, or with roots in North Central Ohio. So we want to support our own. Here's just some photos of past artists and workshops and projects. A lot of these are from 2023, got a little lazy and didn't throw our 2024 photos into this, but it's also sad to replace them because we have such nice photos from these past events. You can see the wide range of genres of artwork that were supported, everything from synthesizer performance to sculptural installation to eco printing and dyeing, musical performance, 3D installation, digital painting, lots and lots of possibilities. So how do you apply for this residency? There's a couple of options. Our preferred option, if it is at all possible for you, please apply online. You go to terradiceenaturecenter.org and you click programs, artist residency, and you can apply. We've got some links later. But it's a totally digital application, very easy to use, and it can be translated into different languages. If you absolutely do not use a computer, we will have a limited number of print applications that we will distribute. We also have them as PDF, but that's not going to help you if you don't have a computer. This probably won't help you if you don't have a computer, but we do want to be accessible to folks who are not who are artists and who are not necessarily plugged into the technology side of things. We don't want that to be a barrier, and we know it can be. The application is the same regardless. You're going to include your basic artist information, your demographics, an artist statement, residency vision, I'm running out of fingers, a purpose. The vision is kind of like, what is your project and what are you doing? The purpose is like, why are you doing it? Why the Terradise residency? What are you going to get out of an artist residency with an explicit environmental focus? Then you're going to do a biography that we're going to use for promoting you. If you get the residency, you're going to upload some work samples with descriptions. And for most of these major areas, you can also record an audio or a video response. So if you're someone who does not feel super comfortable or fluid typing and writing, there are video and media options. And new as of last year, it says this year, but it's been new for a couple of years. You can save your application as you're going through it, so you can see what's ahead or come back to it. And we also have a PDF download of the full application ready. So it's not like one of those frustrating things where you're going through it and you don't know what's next and you don't know how long it's going to be. We always aim to have paper applications available at post offices across Marion, Mora, Wyandotte, and Crawford counties. We're operating on more limited capacity and doing a little bit less of our outreach to new artists this year, just because we'll only have those 4 or 5 slots. So they may not be at all post offices, but reach out to us if you need something, and we will aim to get those there. Applications are due a little bit later this year because we had to make some of these bigger changes in the residency structure. So they're going to be due March 1st by 11:59. They need to be in digitally by then or received by postal mail then, just so we can go through everything at the same time. As we said, there are some big changes this year. Unfortunately, it's been a great run. We're so grateful to the Ohio Arts Council, and they have changed program structures. So the trickle-down effect is we need to change our structure as well. We've been thinking about this, and I know with the Interpretive Center, we're going to be really leaning into displaying work from past artists as well as more environmental education programming. So 2025, we anticipate will be the final season of this artist residency as a regularly scheduled annual program. Unfortunately, we've loved having everyone, and we really just want to encourage any interested artists in the community who have not applied yet. Do not procrastinate. Do not sit this one out. This is probably the last time. So get your applications in. We'd love to see you. We're going to do some special things because it's the last year, including we're going to hold 2 residencies in March 2025 as reserved for alumni applicants. That means past artists in residence who would like an additional opportunity to be a part of the program. Sorry, I'm having some sinus issues as I do this. And then new this year, our Arts at Terradise committee felt very strongly that, and it's a frustration for all of us as grant writers and applicants as well, that it really is an awful experience to apply for something, get really good feedback, and just hear you were just below the cutoff. There were so many qualified applicants, and we've had that year after year. Our program has gotten slightly less competitive each year as we've had more and more artists saturated and join the program, and then a smaller applicant pool, but we also get new applicants. So new this year, what we've done is we've created a ranked list based on raw scores in the past application process, and then also looking for diversity of genres. And we're going to reach down that ranked list of applicants and offer at least 4 residency slots to past applicants who were unsuccessful. The reason for that, it's not to make things unfair for new applicants this year, but it's also kind of unfair or not great, right, to ask highly ranked past applicants to put in a new application year after year and repeat that work when we do have access to their applications and a comparative scoring model and a ratio that will sort of help us rank that list. So we hope that will feel fair to everyone and exciting. Please do look out for emails. We're hoping they're going to come out really soon or by early February 2025 to invite you, if you're a past applicant, to a residency. So that frees up about, depending on how many we go with that route, 4 to 5 additional residency slots for new applicants in Marion, Morrow, Wyandotte, and Crawford County. So this outreach in these sessions in this video is really for you, and your applications will be due again March 1st by 11:59. A few frequently asked questions. Is there an age limit for this program? No, generally we say 18 and up is ideal just because of questions of consent and family or parental guidance and that sort of thing. But if you are a younger artist applicant, please do reach out to us. Let us know your situation. We have had younger artists pair with parents, guardians, or family members to accept the residency and be able to make that work. Do you have to be living in Ohio? Not necessarily, although the residency, again, is for anyone living in, working in, or from ancestrally North Central Ohio. But artists that are from Marion County, including growing up there or ancestrally from there. For example, the Wyandotte Nation, which has been moved both to Oklahoma and to Kansas and to Detroit and to spaces in Canada. We would be open to any artists with historic ties to this part of Ohio who would like to take advantage of this opportunity. And what makes for a good work sample? That's something we're asked a lot. Good work samples really will show you as an artist at your most diverse. If you are proposing a project within a genre you have already practiced, it's going to be most effective. Say you're saying, I'm going to do digital painting. Show your examples of digital painting. If you are proposing a new genre and you are a poet, but you are proposing doing a soundscape project, you may not have work samples that reflect that genre, but just make sure they reflect kind of your excellence in the work you've done so far. And please do include captions for those. All the details are on the application page, but we sometimes get folks who just like link to an Instagram page. Instagram, Facebook, that sort of stuff is very, very hard to see for someone like me who's not on those platforms. They're just very, very difficult to access externally. So please do individually upload or link and label the number of work samples we ask for. And again, we aim to have paper applications and flyers available across the 4 counties. And we have some technical assistance sessions coming up. I'll list those dates in a minute, but those are basically Zoom office hours. It says in January, but I think they've mostly been moved to February since we're getting a little bit of a late start this year. And you can also request one-on-one application support, draft review, all of that. That support is not going to be available the week of or the week before the deadline, just because we find that applicants are most successful if they get everything in ahead of time and there's actually room to make those changes and adjustments. I don't know why I didn't correct this. Sorry. That is not right. Your applications are due March 1st. Ignore the February. That was some stuff from last year that we left, but March 1st is when they're due. Just to show you the kind of diversity of artists we've supported, these are some of our artists and genres from 2022 and 2023 and 2024. We have had so many different artists and genres and projects come through, and just very honored for the way our space has been engaged. We have one more of these upcoming information sessions. It's always great to attend live. We record the first part and then just have a conversation with the artists in the room about what you're thinking. February 9th is our next session for that. We'll also be holding technical assistance office hours open for a couple of hours where I'll just be hanging out and available to help you brainstorm your project, etc. So we're going to have one February 7th and one February 16th. If that is too soon, we might bump those back a little bit. So just stay tuned to our website for the latest information. I can also help one-on-one, but my hours are limited. So it's going to be first come, first serve. And just keep in mind, not the week of the deadline, just because there's other stuff due for us and there's a lot going on and we want you guys to try to work on this ahead of time. So reach out to us early. You can access the application at this address down here, terradise.org/arts-residency, and click through at the bottom to apply. Or if you don't want the information, although we recommend it, you can just go to terradise.org/TEAR-2025-application. I think I said terradicenaturecenter.org earlier. Ignore that. I'm tired. Just terradise.org. So that is really the bare bones of our application and our Terradise Environmental Arts Residency structure for 2025. Hope this is helpful. I'm the residency coordinator, so feel free to reach out. Terradise Nature Center at gmail.com is our main email. I'm on that. I will get that. And again, terradise.org/arts-residency, or I have my number below. Also snail mail if that's useful, but we've got a fairly tight turnaround to March 1st, so assuming some of the other means might be faster. But we really welcome applications from our new artists who this video is really targeting. We will have at least 4 slots, we're hoping. If we get that many applicants from around the region, I don't think we've saturated it yet, and we've seen very little from our artists in Wyandotte and Crawford County since we just added that last year. So Wyandotte and Crawford County folks, we really hope you will show up. I'm looking at you, Bucyrus, Galleon, all those other communities across the region, Upper Sandusky. We would love to see your work. Thank you all for your support of our residency, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know you in further office hours, technical assistance, and when our application committee finally meets to make our selections in mid-March. Again, I don't know if we said this, but we'll have artists in place April, May, and June of 2025, 3 artists per month, those 3 months, and then 2 artists in March. Those are our alumni artists. So we have at least, we're expecting 4 or 5 opportunities of those 9 slots in April, May, and June for new to the program artists. So we really look forward to your applications. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you've got more questions, just shoot us an email is the best way at the address below, or shoot me a text if that's easier, and we will make sure you get what you need. Please tell your friends, tell your colleagues, and good luck applying. We really look forward to a beautiful final residency season to really ring out what has been a really lovely run. Thank you. Bye.